Right now at 6, a crash in McDonald County takes the life of a Neosho man.
And we've got a cold start to the day out there. We will be a little warmer into the afternoon. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, new legislation in Missouri aims to bring reform to the pharmaceutical industry.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, December the 30th. The new year, of course, just right around the corner. Hard to believe it's almost 2026.
It has come so fast. Is there anything you were hoping to do in 2025 that you didn't manage, that you're hoping to do in 2026?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think 2025 was a pretty decent year. You know, I don't go crazy and set like wild goals either.
Yes.
You know, I try and keep it manageable. I go day by day, really, because you don't know what tomorrow's going to be, and so.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did you accomplish much this year?
The only thing I was hoping to accomplish in 2025 was to get another cat, which just makes me sound like a crazy cat lady. Maybe I am, but I did get another cat, and she's the best.
Well,
so
okay.
You know what? Goals have been met. That's what you should do. Is just make goals that you already want to accomplish.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, you're like, my life's amazing.
Keep those resolutions, in check. And people, I think, also feel like New Year's resolutions are something you have to accomplish like within the first week of the new year. Like, no, it can take a while. Take your time. Ease into whatever it is you're setting your goals for. And if you're setting your goals for warmer weather, that's one of the resolutions or one of the things you'd like to see. Well, you're in luck because that's what's happening as we head down the road. But we got to get through today first, and it will be even a little warmer today. Let's start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh. And there it is. The skies are clear. Temperatures are cold this morning, though. Our camera, 7th and range line in Joplin, looking good as well this morning. Same from the KDOT camera, 69-400 along 171 there. And one final stop. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin, looking good. We are clear. We are dry. We are cold, though. Our temperatures look like that. 15 in Joplin, 16 in Pittsburgh, and around the region, that's where most of us have been sitting, is into the teens. We've got mid-teens, low teens out there. We did have some 20s, but we've started to fall back a little more. Parsons looks to be the cold spot right now, sitting at 11, and we have a string of 19s. Grove, Anderson, Cassville, those are the warmer spots out there. And even with the light breeze, we've talked about it before, when it gets this cold, even a light breeze can make it feel much colder, and this is what I'm talking about. It feels like 1 in Iola. 5 in Fort Scott, so at 10 in Nevada. So you see, we get the idea. It's still a pretty cold start. You still want to bundle up out there, but also be prepared for it to be a little warmer today. As we head into the afternoon, we're going to have some occasionally gusty south winds. Could have a cloud or two, as I've discussed this morning. I think Future Track's going a little over the top on some of the clouds, but otherwise, really not a bad day and pretty close to normal out there with our highs. We're going to go about the low 20s by 9, mid 30s though by noon, and then we go into the low to mid 40s for our highs today. As I mentioned, those south winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. Temperatures continue to climb. That is the main reason why. Southerly winds bringing in warmer air. We're going to go over the details on how much warmer it's going to get and how New Year's is looking here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. When temperatures in our area drop into dangerous territory, some organizations and locations will open their doors to provide warmth to the community. You can find a list of those locations by scanning this QR code. This code will take you to the Warming Centers page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, where you can find locations in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. You can also find information on safety tips for winter, a link to resources, as well as information on adding additional warming centers to the list. The Warming Centers page on KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities bring additional charges against a man in connection with the death of a teen in Lynn County. Last week, authorities arrested this man, Damon Leonard, and charged him with abandonment of a corpse. It was in connection to the death of his 13-year-old neighbor, Aaron Ndula. Leonard, a Kansas man, admitted to dumping the boy's body next to a creek in Missouri. Authorities have brought additional charges against the 47-year-old Leonard, including criminal desecration, having a vicious dog at large, and interference with law enforcement. Officers seized multiple dogs from Leonard's property. Authorities say the investigation is still ongoing. A Neosho, Missouri man is dead and 2 women from Neosho are injured from a head-on crash yesterday in McDonald County. The 3 were in a car that collided with a pickup on Highway 76 west of Anderson yesterday morning. The 44-year-old man died at the scene. The women, ages 30 and 33, suffered moderate injuries. The 33-year-old Bella Vista, Arkansas man who drove the pickup was apparently not seriously hurt. Officials say temperatures near 18 degrees and strong winds made rescue efforts challenging. That stretch of highway closed for several hours, but it has since reopened. Missouri workers earning the minimum wage will get a pay raise in the new year. They'll be earning $15 per hour starting January 1st. Adam Woodbury talked to some small businesses in Southwest Missouri to say some changes are already being made to adjust to the increase.
As the world gets ready to ring in the new year, a slew of new laws will go into effect in Missouri. One of them, the state's minimum wage, is increasing. It's gone up annually since 2015, nearly doubling in that time. And as it gets ready to jump from $13.75 to $15 this year, Cherokee Firearms owner Jason Radney says it can put some small businesses into a tight spot.
It's going to require businesses, especially the smaller the business, to adjust their prices to help accommodate those, outgoing expenditures as far as, payroll and making sure that they're paying what they need to pay.
The new wage won't apply to tipped employees since much of their income comes from tips. And if a business brings in less than $500,000 in gross income, the state says they can set their own wage.
But I do understand that the smaller the store, especially if you're a local company where you're kind of right at that cusp of that $500,000 cutoff mark, that's gonna put a little of a pinch on your revenue annually.
So what that's going to mean for me is I will not be able to have as many people on the floor. And I've actually already made some adjustments when the last increase came. So I just, won't be able to have the coverage.
Ginny Redfern, who owns Bag Lady Boutique, says she understands employees want to be paid fairly, but she feels like her autonomy as a small business owner could be shrinking.
It feels like kind of a big brother decision where they made the decision, I'm not sure on what data or whatever, but they don't know anything about my small business and how I operate and where my highs and lows are and, what my budget can afford.
As of right now, there is not another increase planned for 2027.
The Show Me State leads its 4 state neighbors when it comes to minimum wage. Arkansas comes in next with $11 an hour. Kansas and Oklahoma both pay $7.25 for minimum wage, which matches the federal minimum wage. Well, some Missouri lawmakers are pushing new legislation aimed at reforming pharmacy benefit managers, companies that help control prescription drug pricing. KOAM's Blake Golig breaks down what's being proposed and why it matters.
Missouri lawmakers are filing legislation for the 2026 session that would completely change how pharmacy benefit managers, known as PBMs, operate in the state. PBMs negotiate drug prices and reimburse pharmacies, but critics say their practices often drive up costs while limiting access to care. One of the bill's co-sponsors, Senator Joe Carter, says these bills deliver long overdue transparency and basic accountability in the prescription drug system so families, pharmacists, and employers stop paying for more than they should while patients get the care they need. Supporters say the proposed reforms will require pharmacy benefit managers to provide full pharmacy claims data to employers and the state's Department of Insurance, allowing for greater oversight of prescription drug pricing. The bills would also prohibit PBMs from charging patients a copay higher than the actual cost of the medication. According to the Federal Trade Commission, in 2023, the top 3 PBMs processed nearly 80% of the approximately 6.6 billion prescriptions dispensed by the U.S. that year. Lawmakers backing the bill says PBMs often steer patients toward pharmacies owned by the same companies, a practice they argue puts independent pharmacies at a disadvantage and limits patient choice.
I've got people that I've been taking care of for 20 years or more that are suddenly getting letters that say they have to either use the mail order or they have to use the CVS retail store in another town. We don't even have one in our town. Sometimes people will have to drive 20 miles or more to get a prescription filled.
The bill will be considered during the 2026 legislative session. Blake Gully, KOAM News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. History was made this year with the election of the first American Pope. A look back at this year's top international stories. Plus, 2026 promises outer space journeys with Project Hail Mary, Dune 3, and a new Star Wars movie all coming to theaters. And warmer weather is on the way with above normal temperatures returning. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, history was made this year with the election of the first American Pope, while tensions in the Middle East simmered as a fragile ceasefire took hold in Gaza. And before the year was over, terror struck Australia. Tina Cross looks back on international stories that topped headlines in 2025.
In the final month of 2025, Australia saw its deadliest shooting in nearly 30 years. Police say a father and son launched a terror attack at a Hanukkah celebration, killing at least 15 people at the start of the Jewish festival. In the Middle East, emotional reunions as Israeli families welcomed home some of the last hostages taken in the October 7th attacks. A fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas held in Gaza, with growing calls for more humanitarian aid. Israel stunned the Gulf region with its first ever strike inside Qatar, targeting Hamas leadership and stoking fears of a wider conflict. Israel and Iran traded their biggest blows in years, with Israel unleashing sweeping airstrikes on Iranian nuclear and military sites. Iran retaliated with waves of ballistic missiles and drones aimed at Israeli cities. World leaders ramped up diplomatic pressure to end Russia's war in Ukraine. But nearly 4 years in, the fight for a lasting peace goes on. North Korea rattled its neighbors once again, testing new anti-air missiles and showcasing its growing military firepower, while the U.S. kept up joint training drills in the region with South Korea. New U.S. tariffs fueled trade tensions with China, prompting swift retaliation before President Trump and President Xi Jinping struck a trade truce after high-stakes talks. Trump is set to visit Beijing in the new year. A devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake killed more than 3,700 people in Myanmar, the deadliest quake to strike the Southeast Asian nation in more than a century. A Boeing 787 bound for London crashed moments after takeoff in India, killing 260 people and leaving just one survivor. The investigation remains stalled after disputes over what went wrong. 2025 ushered in a historic moment for the Catholic Church. After the death of Pope Francis, cardinals elected the world's first American pope, Chicago-born Leo XIV. Europe battled a record-breaking heat wave that killed thousands and witnessed a dramatic glacier collapse that buried a village in the Swiss Alps, all as another global climate summit ended with few tangible solutions. And in Britain, King Charles stripped his brother Prince Andrew of his royal title after more fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The 77-year-old monarch continued his cancer treatment, while Princess Kate celebrated her remission. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
One other headline from 2025 came from Down Under, with Australia becoming the first country in the world to ban social media accounts for anyone under 16. Tech giants like Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube face fines up to $32 million if they don't enforce it. Join us tonight when we take a look back at the biggest national stories of 2025. Well, still to come, the top food trends and experts expect you to see in 2026. Plus, warmer weather is on the way with above normal temperatures returning. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. Hollywood has high cinematic hopes for 2026, and an elusive artist is helping turn a hotel into a tourism-worthy museum. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
With the new year just 3 days away, movie theaters are gearing up for a star-studded 2026. Highly anticipated films like Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and The Devil Wears Prada 2 come out in the middle of next year. Film critic Jake Coyle expects sci-fi to dominate the big screen.
You've got Project Hail Mary, you've got Dune 3, you've even got a Star Wars movie for the first time in a while. So, you know, there'll be a lot of outer space journeys in the year to come.
Hey, Luigi!
The Super Mario Galaxy movie will be released in April. Days after anonymous street artist Banksy unveiled his latest piece, a hotel inspired by his work announced its reopening in Bethlehem. The Waldorf Hotel is filled with graffiti and artwork from the famed artist. Employees say it's not just a hotel, but a museum and artistic platform for tourists to enjoy. On Wednesday, the final episode from the hit series Stranger Things will be released.
He's planning to end our world.
Netflix reports that the 5-season series has already garnered more than 1 billion views on their streaming site. The show's popularity is undeniable, with Season 5's premiere week being the most successful for Netflix when it comes to English language shows. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Certainly a lot of exciting projects in Hollywood to look forward to. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we got a cold start out there for us this morning. However, southerly winds are going to bring in slightly warmer temperatures. The warming trend will continue. We'll talk about how long it'll last and how the New Year's forecast is looking when we come back. Time now, 6:21. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:23 now on this Tuesday morning. We are starting with the future track, and we're looking pretty good today. We should have clear skies, could have a passing cloud or two, and it's going to be a bit on the breezy side, but that breeze is something we like because it's going to start to bring in warmer temperatures to the area. Now, of course, it's, the 4 states. I don't know how they decipher what the average is supposed to be for highs and lows, considering it seems we are very rarely near those numbers. So we're going to start going above average is what I'm getting at here. All right, so again, clear skies day, bit breezy. Clear skies tonight, not as breezy. Clear skies heading into our Wednesday. And again, a passing cloud or two is not out of the question, but we should otherwise have more sunshine than clouds as we head into New Year's Eve day. And as we head into New Year's Eve itself, it's going to be chilly, but above normal across the area, and then clouds won't start increasing across the area until early New Year's Day in the morning. So initially, though, we're dry. In fact, most of New Year's Day, despite all the cloud cover, we are expected to be dry. It won't be until much later in the evening, after, say, 6, 7 o'clock, that we could get an isolated shower or two. I think most of us will be dry, but a couple of... Don't even. Every time. I'm not saying it. You folks at home, your kids are probably already going, he said it. I'm not saying it again. Late in the evening on Thursday, after a particular time period, we could get an isolated shower or two, but again, I think most of us will be dry. This has never been an issue until all of a sudden it became a thing. And I'm over the thing. I think most of us are over the thing, but the younger folks here are not over the thing just yet. All right, temperatures today starting into the upper teens, near 20. Then we warm up. I mean, it's not a huge warm up, but that's a nice climb in temperatures into low 30s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon we go, low mid 40s, so pretty close to normal, which will be cool because it'll be one of the few times we're actually near normal. South winds 5 to 10, again occasionally gusting to 20. And we'll have southwest winds overnight at 5 to 10. Slows down our temperature drop, still at the clear skies, mid 30s by 10, back into the upper 20s tonight. If you're celebrating New Year's, make sure you celebrate responsibly, because if you manage to stay up all night, like when I was one of the younger folks, I would, stay up through midnight and then be up until noon the next day. So if you're staying up and you're going to watch us in the morning, we want you to be able to join us. Celebrate responsibly and enjoy it. It's not going to be that bad. I mean, even as we get to the point of ringing in the new year, still upper 30s, low 40s out there. Southwest winds 5 to 10. And those clear skies overhead. So not a bad way to start 2026. Another good way to start it is with temperatures continuing to warm, and that is exactly what they'll do. We're going in low 50s tomorrow, low mid 50s for New Year's Day, near 60 for Friday. Heading into the weekend, a little boundary pushes through Saturday. We're clear, but a little cooler, still above normal though. Then we warm again Sunday, Monday, upper 50s, low 60s. And our temperatures start dropping again next week. We are seeing that, again, flurries possible on Thursday, but you also see the daytime temperatures, so not expecting much. Again, a reminder though, we do know that in the next few weeks, heading into mid to late January, we should return to a much more winter-like pattern. So enjoy the warmer temperatures because they're not going to stick around that much longer. That is a check of your forecast. Now we're going to 6-7 it to Samantha for Health Watch. What does it even mean? Nobody knows. Do they? You don't know, do you?
Thanks, Chris.
There is no explanation.
The Trump administration announced the amount of funding each state will get for the first year of the Rural Health Transformation Program. The awards range from $145 million to $281 million. The program will award $50 billion over 5 fiscal years. Half the money will be split evenly among states. The other half will be awarded through a point system based on a set of criteria. Of that second half of discretionary funds, about 20% is based on a state's commitment to specific policy actions. The provision granting states extra points if they agree to implement Trump administration policies has drawn criticism. States will be rescored each year and funds may be clawed back. Well, every new year, there's a tendency to shift to a new pattern of food preferences, and experts say some of these trends may be better for you than others. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has the top food trends an expert expects you to see in 2026.
Move over, cottage cheese. There are some new it foods in town.
There are things that trend and ebb and flow.
Registered dietitian Julia Sumpano with Cleveland Clinic says the first new food trend she expects to see in 2026, more mushrooms.
Mushrooms such as reishi and lion's mane can help with stress. They're considered adaptogens, and you'll find them in things like coffee and drinks and added into protein shakes.
Zumpano says mushrooms are very healthy and a good source of B vitamins, selenium, fiber, and potassium. She says they can also support a healthy immune system, brain, heart, and gut. Speaking of gut health, Zumpano expects it to continue to be a big trend next year, too.
Gut-friendly foods such as resistant starches and probiotics and prebiotics, I think will still be a very strong foundation of health trends in 2026.
GLP-1 weight loss medications are driving the next trend. Zumpano says to expect smaller portion sizes in the new year as those on the medicine have a decreased appetite, and expect protein to still be a big trend, but she expects people to move more toward balanced meals with an emphasis on protein but also adding in fiber. And finally, a focus on omega-3s.
They're support brain health. They help reduce inflammation. They're found in fatty fish and certain nuts and seeds.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Zumpano says there's another New Year's trend that's expected when it comes to alcohol, as more people are moving away from cocktails and opting for mocktails or other low-alcohol alternatives instead. She says those non-alcoholic drinks tend to be lower in overall calories and sugar. She says this trend is a step in the right direction. Well, that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, a new year may mean a new you. A local gym offers tips on making lifestyle changes safely.
Damn, we've got a cold start out there for the day. It will eventually warm up. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, how Kansas City, Missouri leaders are working to keep baseball in the city.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6:33. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, December the 30th. The new year right around the corner. We've been talking about, we've been doing stories, resolutions. We got one coming up on how to do so safely. And one thing you mentioned earlier, and I think it's probably something a lot of people don't think about, because really I didn't think about it until just this morning. I think a lot of people, you make these New Year's resolutions, you feel like you've got to accomplish them within the first week of the new year or it's done. Like, let it take time. You can't work magic. You got to let it take time, whatever your resolution is,
And the more time you do invest into it, the more likely you are to stick to it.
Exactly. And so, that's what you should do. You need to make resolutions that are achievable and ones that, you can spread out. Like, I don't know, maybe a project around the house, something like that.
Maybe my resolution should be get better at filling out the graphics properly for our shows.
I don't know. I like top line, bottom line. It's better it says that. I've seen some, where like the default templates some of the stations get, they're like the random phrases. And if they forget to fill it out, it puts that random thing in there and it looks even stranger.
I'm just
So-
like, please have mercy.
Top line, bottom line is a lot better than, the other weird combinations that can go into those things.
I'm just like, please be kind. I've been here since 1 a.m. and I'm trying my best.
Hey, it's a joyous day here in the 4 states.
And I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
and I'm excited that you say it might warm up a bit.
It is going to warm up just a bit, but we have a very cold start that we got to get through first. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear. In fact, you can see a little daylight starting to appear off to the east there, and we're looking pretty good. Our camera, 7th and range line in Joplin, looks good as well. As we are clear across the area. We'll head over to the KDOT camera, 69-400. Again, I've got it pointed looking east along 171, and it looks good so far. And that has frozen, but that's okay. It looked good before it froze. I'm sure that if you're actually out there at 20th and range line, it probably still looks pretty good as well. See, graphics. Now that's not necessarily my fault exactly, but see, something's up. Something's going. Oh, and it just unfroze. All right, whatever. Anyway, 15 in Joplin, 14 in Pittsburgh. I tell you, it's only Tuesday, and I feel like it's been a week already. Temperatures this morning still cold. That might be why it also feels like it's been a week. Warm spot is Anderson at 20 right now. The cold spot is Parsons at 11. Most of us, as you can see, into the teens. And then even with the light breeze, as we've discussed, when it gets cold enough, even that light breeze is enough to kick those wind chills down. Feels like 4 in Fort Scott, 5 in Iola, 9 in Sedan, 8 in Independence. So you still need to bundle up this morning and be prepared for slightly warmer temperatures later, but then we'll really start to warm up as we head into the end of this week and into the new year. As for the future track, we'll have some gusty south winds. Could have a cloud or two. I think future track's got a couple of extra clouds out there, but I think that one way or the other, the majority of us will have clear skies. Again, chilly to start, but cold to start. Low 20s out there, mid 30s by noon. Our highs today, low mid 40s, and those south winds occasionally gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour. We'll have clear skies overnight tonight, and we'll talk about how our New Year's forecast is looking and tell you just how much warmer it's going to get in the next few days here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A new year tends to bring New Year's resolutions, and one of the most common is getting in shape. KLM's Ty Park stopped by Jim and Carl Junction to get the tips and tricks on how to start and stick with fitness.
The turn of the new year brings a new you. For many, the new you is to get in shape.
Actually, it takes a lot. The common advice is to start small. However, it is, even though it's a small step, walking through that gym door every day is a huge change in your life. So I think it takes an identity change, an identity focus. I think you need to sit down and decide, who am I and who do I want to be? And
be all you want to be.
It's really awesome to be motivated, and so when you have those days, absolutely take advantage of that motivation. Get excited to come to the gym, get excited for your favorite lift.
But when that motivation starts to fade, then
remind yourself why you're doing it. Remind yourself what's important to you. Maybe you're doing this for yourself. Maybe you're doing this to be healthy for your family.
Getting up and moving can be a shock to the body.
Safety goes, a great warm-up can help. A great cool-down can help. Also, when you first start out, remember that you are just starting out. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to meet all your goals in one day.
Warm-ups are really important because it gets the blood flowing through the body, getting it prepared. And remember, every time you work out, you are damaging the muscle so it can grow back stronger.
I would just encourage you, for one, that you absolutely can make the change. You can do it. You should do it for yourself and for your family.
In Carl Junction, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Well, following news that the Kansas City Chiefs will relocate their stadium from Missouri to Kansas, city leaders in Kansas City, Missouri are working to make sure the Royals stay in the state. Eric Graves reports.
We are not losing the Kansas City Royals. They will be here.
A week after the Kansas City Chiefs announced the team is leaving Missouri for Kansas, Mayor Quentin Lucas is guaranteeing the same won't happen with the Royals.
I hope they play in Kansas City, Missouri. I hope they play downtown Kansas City. But the Royals will be here, and we will make sure that work gets done.
He's not the only one pushing for downtown baseball. This weekend, Union Station lit up in royal blue, posting a long message to social media in support of bringing the Royals to downtown KC.
We're just saying, welcome to downtown. It's our home, and we'd love to have you down here.
Union Station is an important endorsement. Right across Main Street is Washington Square Park. It's the only known site the Royals are looking at for a downtown ballpark. Lucas says it makes a lot of sense.
You have a footprint that does not take out any existing business. You have a footprint that already itself is largely tourism, entertainment related and focused. You have tens of thousands of parking spaces nearby.
Meanwhile, a December 31st deadline is quickly approaching in Kansas if the Royals want a star bond deal. Lucas says he's hoping to have a deal to keep the Royals in Missouri before the team heads to spring training in mid-February.
We have already, I think, put out some strong proposals in terms of what a stadium could look like, what the financing could look like, and beyond.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A new year might mean a new job. We'll hear top recruiter advice on how to stand out in your resume, application, and interview. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, as we flip the calendar over to 2026, a new year means new beginnings, and for some, it may mean looking for a new job. Whether you're looking to switch careers or land a new role, the process can be overwhelming. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan sits down with one career expert to talk about ways to stand out to recruiters.
Bringing in a new year means self-reflection and setting new goals. For some, that may mean looking for a new job. And many career experts say January is a good time for job seekers.
In the new year, you often see hiring opportunities increase out in the marketplace.
Dawn Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says a new year means a new annual budget for most companies, so they have more financial flexibility to add positions. But this is a tough climate for job seekers. The latest jobs report shows 105,000 jobs were lost in October and 64,000 jobs were added in November, while the unemployment rate rose to 4.6%, a 4-year high.
The jobs are there. It's more competitive to find the opportunities you're looking for.
Fay recommends broadening your job search. If you work in marketing, don't just apply to other marketing firms. Look for a marketing job in other industries.
Certainly things are picking up in the energy sector because there's all talk about power and how are we going to power all these data centers to keep the AI work running.
Fay says tailor your resume and cover letter to each job you apply for. She says AI can be a useful tool to help you save time. Use the job description to help you come up with a rough draft.
You might, again, just want to tweak it to highlight your skills and the results that you've had from the work that you've done that could be really particular to that role that you are applying to.
Don't just apply through the company's website. Try and track down the hiring manager and email them directly as well. If you're currently unemployed, consider contract or temporary work. Take a class to develop new skills or even volunteer. Fay says that helps you explain any resume gaps. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Lululemon founder and former CEO Chip Wilson is again slamming the struggling company and launching a campaign to shake up its board. Wilson, Lululemon's second largest shareholder, announced Monday he nominated 3 new directors. He's nominating himself to the board, which he left in 2015. The looming proxy fight comes a few weeks after Lululemon announced CEO Calvin McDonald is leaving, ending a tumultuous 7-year stint. The athleisure brand failed to keep up with competitors towards the end of McDonald's tenure. The company's stock has lost more than 40% of its value this year. Wilson stepped down as Lululemon CEO in 2005 and has routinely attacked the company's decisions. Well, that's it for Consumer Watch this morning, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got an absolutely beautiful sunrise out there from downtown Pittsburgh this morning. Skies are clear. Temperatures, though, are still very cold. Warmer weather on the way, though. We're going to talk about that and celebrate birthdays and anniversaries right after this. Time now, 6:45. We'll be right back. All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays. We're going to start in Cherryvale with Jaylee Ann Wan celebrating birthday number 4 today. Says happy birthday, Jay Bird, with love from Grandma and Sparky.
Well, in Columbus, Kansas, we've got a double birthday. Rory May and Electra Ruth Hale are celebrating birthdays number 4 and 83. A very happy birthday to them.
And Jean Cronky in St. Paul celebrating birthday number 66 today. Happy birthday.
And in Thayer, Kansas, Vernie Smedley is celebrating birthday number 69. Happy birthday, Vernie.
And back to Columbus, where Paul and Lindsay Morris are celebrating their 9th anniversary. A very happy anniversary to the Morrises.
And in Anderson, Missouri, Eldon and Brenda Smith are celebrating their 55th anniversary. A very, very happy anniversary to them.
And heading over to Carterville now for Sarah Langford, celebrating another year wiser. Very happy birthday to you, Sarah.
And a birthday here at the station. John Hout is our national sales manager, and he is celebrating another birthday, older and wiser. So a very happy birthday to you, John.
Yeah, John Hout and I, we go back. We went back without even realizing we went back, because his son actually trained me when I first got started in TV. I was doing graphics, actually. And he trained me, and that's how I got started. So, John Hout, a very happy birthday to you. You are a very special person, because there's a part of you that's helped me be where I am today. And of course, very happy birthday anniversary to everyone on our list. And if you would like to celebrate with us, Samantha has information you need to know.
Yes, you should pay attention to this email you can see on your screen right now. It's birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. That's where you can send your pictures, your birthdays, your anniversaries, but also make sure to pay attention to that deadline on your screen, so that way we can make sure we get it in plenty of time to be able to celebrate you on your special day.
Excellent information and some excellent weather information. I know it is very cold this morning. We have temperatures in the teens, and with the occasional breeze out there, we've had wind chills down as low as 1 this morning, so you still need to bundle up. However, the winds out of the south today, southwest tonight, going to bring in some slightly warmer air for us. So look at the future track. Again, future track I think has a couple extra clouds out there. I think we're looking at clear skies with just some passing clouds, maybe, but otherwise should be a pretty decent day. Will be a bit breezy during the day, but again, that's going to be helpful to us. Clear skies overnight tonight, and again, maybe a passing cloud or two. The winds will ease up, and they won't be gusting significantly today. It's just they'll be a bit gusty. And as we head through New Year's Eve day, looking pretty good. Mostly clear skies. Again, perhaps a passing cloud or two, but not a bad day overall. New Year's Eve also looking pretty good with clear skies. It won't be until early on New Year's Day that clouds will begin to increase across the region. Now, even though we're going to spend the majority of New Year's Day mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy, we'll be dry the majority of the day as well. It won't be until after about 6 o'clock or so that we'll have an opportunity perhaps for an isolated shower or two. So again, anything we see should be fairly isolated. I think most of us will be dry, but it will be cloudy, but it'll be warmer. As for today, beautiful sunrise out there, absolutely gorgeous. Temperatures, though, not so gorgeous right now, but we do a fair amount of warming. Upper teens to start and into the low 30s by 11. I know that's still cold, but that's not a bad rise in temperatures as we head through the morning hours. We're going to have another look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as your wake-up recap. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to take a look back at some of the biggest scandals of 2025. That and more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for December 30th, your top stories to start your day. A Neosho, Missouri man is dead, and 2 women from Neosho are injured from a head-on crash yesterday in McDonald County. The 3 were in a car that collided with a pickup on Highway 76 west of Anderson. The 44-year-old man died at the scene. The woman, ages 30 and 33, suffered moderate injuries. The 33-year-old Bella Vista, Arkansas man who drove the pickup was apparently not seriously hurt. Officials say temperatures near 18 degrees and strong winds made rescue efforts challenging. That stretch of highway closed for several hours, but it has since reopened. Well, authorities bring additional charges against a man in connection with the death of a teen in Lynn County. Last week, authorities arrested this man, Damon Leonard, and charged him with abandonment of a corpse. It was in connection to the death of his 13-year-old neighbor, Aaron Ndula. Leonard, a Kansas man, admitted to dumping the boy's body next to a creek in Missouri. Authorities have brought additional charges against the 47-year-old Leonard, including criminal desecration, having a vicious dog at large, and interference with law enforcement. Officers seized multiple dogs from Leonard's property. Authorities say the investigation is still ongoing. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And it is again cold to start the day, but not doing too bad by this afternoon. Near normal temperatures, clear skies, maybe a passing cloud or two, low mid-40s. South winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20. Clear skies through the evening, a gradual temperature drop, still into the mid-30s by 10. Overnight lows, upper 20s, so fairly seasonable. Southwest winds 5 to 10. If you're celebrating New Year's Eve, make sure you A, celebrate responsibly, and B, take a coat. It's going to be a bit on the cold side, but really not all that bad. Last year, we had wind chills in the teens for New Year's Eve. This year, not so much. We're going to be back down into the low 40s, upper 30s as we ring in the new year and continue dropping eventually to the mid 30s as we head into New Year's Day morning. Temperatures tomorrow, low mid 50s. Same for New Year's Day, maybe an isolated shower or two late in the evening. And then Friday, near 60. We'll go about 50 Saturday. A weak boundary passes through, so it drops temperatures a bit, but still above normal. We go upper 50s, low 60s Monday, Tuesday, another cool down. And yes, that says flurries possible. You can see the daytime highs still way too warm for flurries. But a reminder again, the long range data is pretty consistent. Here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a little less, we're going to see a transition to a much more wintry pattern, which means much more colder temperatures, sticking around a lot longer. So just make sure you enjoy the warm weather. Get the Christmas lights down maybe before it starts to get too cold.
Definitely something to watch. Thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making a dill crab dip in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, we're going to meet an artist on the court and off, a player with the Harlem Globetrotters using sports equipment to create masterpieces. And his latest one is a tribute to his grandmother.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, the new year is a great time to maybe try a new recipe. Charlene Patton with the Kansas Soybean Commission is showing us one you might want to try for your New Year's Eve celebration.
Plus, Missouri workers earning the minimum wage will get a pay raise in the new year. Have a look at what small businesses are doing to prepare for that change. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now here on KOAM. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.